Hey, my name is Phil from legitmarketingreviews.com. In today's video, we're going to be looking at a webinar software called LiveWebinar. Now in this LiveWebinar review, I want to show you exactly what LiveWebinar does, how it actually works, and by the end of this video, you should know if it's right for you. And just before we get started, if you are thinking about test driving LiveWebinar, there is actually a free plan to get started. So if you want to help support the channel, make sure you use the link in the description. Okay, so first of all, what is LiveWebinar? It is a webinar platform that allows you to host live webinars. You can also schedule webinars for the future. You can also create evergreen webinars, and finally, you can create permanent webinar rooms. Now, one of the best things about this platform is the amount of customizations you can have. It also has a ton of integrations, and it is one of the most affordable webinar softwares on the internet. So what I'm going to do right now is actually jump behind the screen and show you LiveWebinar. Okay, so first of all, let's start here at the LiveWebinar website. What I want to do first is run through some of the different features in this platform. They have a few specific ones that really make it stand out. I'll then go through the different pricing options, and then finally I'll go into the dashboard and show you how the platform works. So first of all, if we scroll down on the homepage just a little bit, you'll probably notice this easy browser access, and this might be one of the most important features of LiveWebinar. Now, I don't know if you have joined any other types of webinar platforms before, but a lot of them require you to download a specific mobile app. Now, I don't know about you, but if I wanted to get some training and I had to download an app for it, sometimes there's a lot of friction and I can't be bothered, so I will just simply forget about the webinar. However, you can access the webinars just from your browser inside a LiveWebinar, so this is a really powerful feature. You can also have unlimited customization inside of it as well. We'll go through that in just a moment. You can also host the webinars on your own websites, which is really nice to see. And then you can also have paid webinars. Now, if you come down a little bit further, there is lots of other types of features that they have. For example, marketing automation, which is really good to have. And if we keep coming down a little bit further, you will notice a bunch of integrations that actually sync with LiveWebinar, which is a really important thing. And of course, if something isn't listed on top of here, you also have Zapier as well to connect. So there's plenty of integrations inside of here. So now what I'll quickly do is just run through the different pricing. So they have 4 different plans. They have the free, pro, business, and enterprise. And they also have an option for monthly subscription or yearly, which is going to save you 20%. So let's break down these different plans. First of all, the free is going to allow you to have 5 attendees. You're also going to be able to send email invitations, include a registration form, have test polls and surveys, as well as have a meeting 45 minutes long. So that's a pretty impressive plan, especially as it's free. Next, we have the pro plan, which is going to allow you to have 100 attendees. You can also have 6-hour recordings, virtual backgrounds. You can brand your own webinar. You can also have paid webinars and have HD recordings. Next, we have the business plan, which is the best choice. And it says here we can have up to 500 attendees. We can have up to 8-hour recordings, which you can record to external storage. You can also have 5 evergreen webinars. You can track participants. You can also run different ads, and you can have full HD. Just to give you the difference, this is 720p, I believe, on Pro. Business, I believe, is 1080p. And then finally, we have here enterprise. So if you are at a very high level, you can have all of your events and meetings on your own domain. Plus, you can have different types of premium level support as well. So there's plenty to choose inside of here. Once again, the pro is very impressive. The business is for people that are serious. Maybe if you're selling a course, something like that, you'll definitely want the business plan. It is going to be the most optimum for you. So let's go ahead and get started. So here is my LiveWebinar dashboard. I've had a little play around with it already this morning. It's pretty impressive how quick and easy it is. So first of all, let me show you around just so you can see how it works. And just for reference for this LiveWebinar review, I'm going to be reviewing the pro plan. So if there's something missing from the business plan, that will be why. So on the left here, we have rooms and events. This is going to be where all of your meetings and webinars are sort of created or scheduled. So you can see here we have scheduled events. You can also create instant meetings, which basically means if you want to create an event to start right now, you can click this button and it's going to allow you to create one. We'll go through that in just a moment. We've also got permanent rooms, evergreen events, and past events. So that's all kept inside here. Next we have here sub accounts. Now sub accounts is a really cool feature because it allows you to basically split up your business into different segments. So if you have multiple different reasons for meetings or different groups or different teams or things like that inside of your business, you can actually split it out. And just to let you know, if you're on the pro plan or above, you can actually have sub accounts. So depending on what plan you're on will allow you to have them. But it's really cool because it also separates things like your files and your events as well. So everything is kept nice and neat. Now, as it sounds down here, recordings and storage is where all your recordings are kept. We also have the ability to create tests and surveys. So if you want to include those will be kept here. We have a pretty cool feature called call to action, which allows you to create a pop-up, which has a button to redirect people, which can be randomly popped up on your webinar and last for up to 3 minutes. So it's like a fast action type of offer, I guess you could have on top of your webinar. It's pretty cool to see. And next we have statistics and reports. It's going to show you how your webinars are performing. We also have the option to invite participants, manage presenters. You can also check your registrations, look at all your different integrations and add new ones here. And then finally, there is stay tuned, which is going to allow you to subscribe to LiveWebinar, see their Facebook page and see them on LinkedIn. So let's go ahead right now and start a new webinar. So for this example, I'm going to be creating an instant meeting. So to do that, all you need to do is click on the button. It's going to open a new tab. And as you can see, your event is ready. So once you get redirected to the page, it's going to say the event is ready. All components have been loaded. Please confirm when you're ready to participate in this event. So this is going to allow you to go into the admin dashboard. It's not going to start the event. All you need to do is click I'm ready, and then it's going to bring up the webinar page. So this is the webinar page here. It's actually got quite a bit to it. So let me just quickly show you around. First of all, we have two different views that you can look at. We have the webinar view and the meeting interface template. So if you want to make it more of like a meeting, you can do so here. So you'll notice it looks sort of like a Zoom type of meeting. You can also see the participants on the left. You can have a chat. You can also control your camera and your mic, and there's some little emojis if you want to add them. And you can also make it like a webinar in terms that you can click switch to content and you can display different items inside here. So it's pretty cool. Now, if you come back to the top, if you go back to these three buttons, you can go choose meeting and then go back to webinar interface, and it will bring you back here. Now, inside of this shared items will be here, displayed here section. This is where you can start adding in different types of content. So for example, if you started your recording and you were like, okay, I want to start with just a whiteboard, click on whiteboard and you can start typing inside of here. So here's my Prezzo, right? Terrible mouse skills right there, but you can see how it works. It's nice and quick. If you want to get rid of it, just click on X. Piece of cake. Next, we have here the option for things like storage. So if you had files that you wanted to bring up, you could add them in here. We've got tests and surveys. We've got a different YouTube player. We've also got screen share if you want to share your screen. We can add in one of our call to actions, and you can have this on top as well. We've got here different breakout rooms. We've got Vote Manager, Vimeo Player, and a bunch of other stuff as well. So there's plenty to have inside of it. Now let's just say you wanted to add in yourself. For example, here we have audio and video, and it says here there are no active streams, and all you need to do is click on this button. It will ask for your permission from your browser, and then you can start recording. For the sake of this video, I'm not going to activate it because it might ruin the sound coming into the computer, so I'm not going to bother with it just yet, but this is where you can add it in and it looks nice and easy. Now in the webinar presentation view, once again it's this one here, it allows you to also see your chat. You can see who's inside of your call as well, and you can control everything from here. We also have the option to change the layout. This is just for the background. This is just so you can see it a little bit easier, so you can choose whichever is right for you. It's entirely up to you. Next, we have the invite button where you can choose to either send out email invites or you can have a call out. So this is like an automated call out, I believe. I'm not too sure exactly how it works, but I guess it just calls out people's numbers and then they can join it from there. We've also got sending out text message, and you can also upload a CSV and create personal URLs. Pretty interesting. Email is probably the easiest one to use. You also have here copy invitation details, and you can send that out as well. Now there's a few more options at the top we can go through, and then I'll go ahead and start and show you how it works. But we have here presentation. So if you wanted to start a discussion, you can click on presentation, choose discussion, and then it's going to allow participants to activate their cameras and microphones, and you can have a chat. There's also a Q&A as well. So if you just want to have a Q&A, this is where you can host it. But for now, we'll just keep it on presentation. And what I'm going to do right now is, last of all, there is locked. If we were to click unlocked, now people can join the event instead of sitting in like a waiting room. So it's all ready to roll. And then when we're ready to record, we can go ahead and click on start. So now it has started. Accidentally clicked it twice, but we are ready. We are rolling and we are now recording. So that's pretty cool. You can go ahead and start doing your live webinar. You can add in things like screen sharing once again, or you can add in slides depending on what you're doing. Depends on how it's working. You can also add in live streams as well and broadcast to Facebook, YouTube, and Vimeo. So those are all there if you want them to. So let's go ahead and stop this. Once you're finished, you can stop and log out all participants. Pretty easy to do. There's this little save thank you type thing afterwards where people can rate the event, leave opinions, things like that if you want as well. So that's done. That is now been completed. But what I'm going to do is actually delete that, and I'm going to show you next how to schedule an event, because this is where the fun really begins. So schedule webinar. We're going to go ahead. We're going to call this the Legit Marketing Reviews live stream. Okay, starting event, this is the current time, but I'm just going to set it for, say, 15 minutes from now, something like that. Okay, duration 45 minutes, depending on what plan, allows you to have different lengths. So I'm just going to say it's hour 30. Okay, you can choose your time zone, and you can also restrict access to your webinar. What this means is if it's enabled, people are only going to be able to join the waiting for 60 minutes before it opens. But if it's disabled, people can join it whenever they want, and it's going to just sort of leave them there. So it pretty much opens the doors for waiting 60 minutes before. I highly recommend leaving it on instead of having random people just sitting on your webinar waiting to get in there. It's a pretty interesting feature. Next, we have an agenda. So if you want to talk about what you're going to be going through in the webinar, you can also add this here. It's going to be added to the waiting room. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to come to form, right? And it's going to say, do you want to enable event form for participants? So this is where you can start collecting information. So once again, legit marketing reviews, okay, live stream, form description. I'll just put LMR live stream just for the sake of this. And now we can start building out the form which people will fill out to get access to our webinar. So let's just say, for example, we have email to start with. Always need to have email. If we wanted to add in some new fields, just click add next field, and you can go ahead, choose a different type of field option, and you can add in the placeholder text. So for example, if I wanted name, I can put here attendee name. Placeholder is going to be your name. You can even change the placeholder on side of this as well. So email address, right? You can change the order, things like that. And if you want to get advanced, right, you can click on the advanced tab, and it's going to allow you to change the identifier and the name as well. Majority of people will probably just keep it nice and simple. So you can go ahead and add something like, say, if you're wanting to collect phones, you could add in here your number, right? Sorry, numbers, not phones. And then you can choose if you want it to be required or not as well. So you can choose as many as you want. It's entirely up to you. And if you come down, there's a few more settings. So enable registration mode on this form. So this just means after they sign up on this form, they're going to have a unique URL that they can join the event with. If you want to add in some marketing automation, check this, and it's going to show your existing integrations that you've added. If you haven't added them yet, I'll show you how to do it soon, but that will list them there. We also have allow registrants to join multiple sessions during the event. So this is if you're hosting something like a summit. Majority of people won't need this though. And we also have reminders. If you want to send out reminders before the event starts, you can choose at the time frame in which you want that to happen. So once you choose it, let's just say 5 minutes, click on add, and now that's ready to roll. So let's go to the next section. Here we can choose the different presenters for the different type of webinar. We also have some different types of tracking. If you want to add in some third-party tracking like Google or Facebook, things like that, this is where you can add in all of your tracking codes. And then finally, we have here advanced. This is where you can add in a few extra options, things like the room layout. You can also default choose the room template. You can also send out custom thank you emails after the event is added, and other bits and pieces as well. So it's really cool. So once you're all happy, once it's all ready to roll, go ahead, click on schedule, and now this has been added. So here is the final product. It is ready to roll, the Legit Marketing Reviews live stream. Here's our room ID. Here's also our room browser address. So let me show you what that looks like. I'll open it in incognito just in case it logs me in or something like that. So here it is. It's nice and blank. And as you can see, we've got the fields that I requested, right? So name, email, and phone number, and then they can register. And this is also going to be what you cover. So once again, we talked about that earlier. So it looks really fresh. I'm pretty happy with it. Next, it tells us about all of our settings that we chose, right? Like 5 minutes before email. We've also got the time. And if you want to invite presenters, you've got the link here. If you want to invite moderators, you've also got that. And then finally, you can invite people through the attendee link. Now, let's just say, for example, you wanted to host this on your own website. You've also got an embed button here. So click on embed. It's going to take you here, and you've got 3 options. You can do it yourself, you can host it by Archibot, or you can send the code to a developer, but it's really easy to use. So let me show you. Just click on the copy code, okay? And I've just got here a blank page in Elementor. What I'm gonna do is just click in a section. I'm gonna just drop in an HTML widget, like so, drop it in, okay? I might actually make this just a full width so it doesn't have any issues or anything like that. And then go ahead, paste the code in like so. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is click on preview, so you can see what it looks like already, but I'll click on preview, and then this is what it looks like, nice and fresh under my own website, ready to rock and roll. So I'm pretty stoked how easy it is to actually use, and everything will stay inside this tab. So it's looking good. So if we come back, that's pretty much how it works, right? So you can join the event once again if you want. We've already been through all of that, but if I come back to rooms and events, you can see that the live stream is ready to roll. All we need to do is jump on board. So that's how easy it is to use LiveWebinar and create different types of meetings or webinars. You've also got permanent rooms, which is set up the exact same way. Evergreen events is slightly different. If you click on schedule here, you will notice in the settings, you've got the option to add in the recording via recording it live, or you can add by YouTube or Vimeo. And then you can also add in a custom action if you want as well, so that's all there. Everything else is the same apart from that. And quickly going over the other features, for examples, tests and surveys. If we click on that, let me show you how easy it is to create either a survey or a test inside of here. And it's just loading my previous ones from before. So to create one, I'll even just show you this one. It's really straightforward. So poll name, type, you've got survey or test, and then you've got your duration. So if you want a quick test or if you want it to stay there for a long time, and you can choose how much percentage of points needed to pass the test, right? And then if you add in the questions, I just say here, which do you think is easier? It's just a single, not a multi-choice. And then here, following a YouTube channel, and then we've also got figuring it out, and you can add in scores and everything there as well. So if you want to add in polls to your webinars, once again, it's just clicking on the button and then choosing poll or test, whichever you want. You can also create folders to manage as well. Now there's the call to action, which I think has got some pretty big value. So let me just show you one I created earlier, just so you don't have to see the process. It's very straightforward. It doesn't take long at all. So this is what it looks like when you create one anyway. So we have here a title, you've got here a message, and you've got here how long you want to view it for, and you've got enable call to action button. And then below we've got a button text, and then we've got an action link. So let me show you what it looks like. Let's just say I was going through some different slides here and I had a bit of a pitch. Let's just say I've got a 3-minute fast action bonus, something like that. It says here, get my super amazing offer, which was the title. For the next 2 hours, you'll be able to get my full offer for 95% discount. And then of course, here is the link. So it's as simple as that. You can see the timer running down. I was on the 3 minutes. So I think that's a pretty cool feature, because if people are on the webinar, if people are engaged, then there's a good chance people are going to take action. Put in that 3 minute or even less. You can choose, I believe, like 30 seconds. So if people are on the edge already, you can go ahead and put that up. I think it's going to help create some conversions. We've also got some advanced options. You can play a sound once it's up. You can use a blend, and you can choose where it goes. So that's pretty much where it is. Now, apart from that, the only thing you really need to see apart from what we've been through already is the integrations and how to add them. So we have here marketing automation. If you come to this tab, you just simply integrate your platform that you use inside of here. If you can't see it, there's also Zapier, there's also Make, which was formerly Integromat, and then we have Pabbly. So there's plenty of different integrations that you can use. We also have here API access if you want to use APIs, or if you have watched my channel before, you will know I am a webhook man, and I love the fact that they have an entire tab dedicated to it. So if you wanted to add in any webhooks, whether it's a post or a get method, you can put them inside of here, then just choose the variable that you want to send. So very, very stoked with that as well. So apart from that, that's pretty much LiveWebinar. What I'm going to do right now is just jump behind the screen. I want to talk about a few extra things. Okay, so that is LiveWebinar. As you can see, they have made it so easy to go ahead and host your own webinar. You also have the ability to add in things like whiteboards, stream from different video platforms, create your own Evergreen Webinars, and more. So they've really put in a decent amount of effort in building this platform. Now, once again, they do integrate with majority of email marketing platforms. You also have that cool webhook functionality. So depending on what platform you're using, you can send information via webhooks. And then finally, if you want to embed the entire webinar on your own domain or website, you've got the embed option there as well. So overall, LiveWebinar is amazing. It's especially incredible considering the price they're charging. So if you want to go ahead and test it out for yourself, make sure you use the link in the description. But apart from that, I hope you enjoyed this LiveWebinar review. If you did, make sure you smash that thumbs up button. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe. I've got some amazing marketing reviews coming out soon. That's it from me. I'll see you on the next video.